Wow. If I wasn't scared before, I'm pretty fucking terrified now. Okay, so this is Smudge. He's my mascot. I just thought it'd be fun to show you. I just like him. I'm going to whiz through a few of my more successful projects to begin with, so you know I'm legit. And then I'm going to go into one of my more fashionable and young collaborative situations. My good friend Charles Jeffrey, Loverboy. We've had a really fruitful and exciting couple of years doing all of his installations and shows. It's pretty nice stuff. So I'm going to go through very quickly. I wanted to start off with cardboard, not just my name, but also my chosen material. It's got nothing to do with my name. It's just the most malleable and easy thing to use. This was one of the first things I ever did when I was a kid. When I was starting out, back in the day, you could actually approach magazines like Sleaze Nation and The Face, that's how old I am, and actually go into the offices and actually propose ideas. And this is one that we actually took to every magazine in London. It actually ended up being in a mag called Less Common, which was a magazine by a brainchild of my friend Matt Irwin, who sadly passed away a couple of years ago, who then went on to do Days Confused and became a very, very popular and successful photographer. But it's interesting, this one, because this is the kind of thing that dear old Charles was looking at when he was studying. So this is the kind of stuff that he was referencing that then became part of our visual language that we would experiment with the last couple of years. So cardboard, Tim Walker's another person that I work with quite a lot, and he's almost insistent that I work with cardboard on every single project. This is entirely made out of cardboard, including the structure, the toy house behind them, and all the characters in front. Just going through some of my day job. A front cover I did once with Nick Knight. That's pretty cool. And Dinos Chapman. Dinos asked me if I would remake his child's dollhouse as an actual set. So that was an absolutely gigantic doll's house, like a 3-story doll's house, and it was insane. It looks like it's been comped together. Really, the only thing that's been comped together is the head in that. Everything else is actually real. So this part of the presentation is all about blocks, I guess. See a lot of that in this bit. This was something I did for Comme de Garcon. Comme de Garcon is my favorite brand, of course, and has been very good to me over the years. This was a creative director job I did, and set, design, and illustration job I did for them. I'm going to whiz through this. This is another thing I did for Liberties. This is something I did for Cos. This is LNCC. Anybody who may not know, LNCC is a multi-sensory shop in Dalston. It's a website, it's a library, it's a nightclub. It's really, really cool. We were up for a Design of the Year award a few years ago. We actually went and redesigned it again a couple of years ago and made it all white and changed all the materials from natural materials to taking all the color out of it and stripping it away from all it. I'm waffling on. Anyway, so that's LNCC. This is a plasticine cave. This is a polystyrene room. This is something I did for Frank Ocean. This is something I've done for Roxanda. I worked for Roxandra for a few years. I used to do all of her catwalk shows. I should go back to this one. This one's insane. This is a massive print of a big puddle print that we decided to turn into a catwalk. Hilarious thing about this, of course, was we thought it'd be a really fantastic idea to raise the platform But the problem was I made it too big, and so all the audience could see was their shoes. And yeah, that was a bit of a cock up, but a gorgeous thing. This is another absolute disaster. We we decided to ask loads of students to help us paint a mural. Oh God! No, it was challenging to say the least. Suffice to say, we had to repaint it the night before. Oh dear! It was great though. Anyway, here's some watches I designed for Swatch. Here's a plasticine Christmas tree. A lot of my stuff is material-based, so we take a very naive material, and we see what we can do and how far we can stretch that material to its most logical and most satisfying conclusion, I guess. So lots and lots of different characters overlaid. Christmas tree, really satisfying. I love that one. A similar idea, but with for Hermes. For their shop in Bond Street. We just made a lovely horse made out of all of their scarves. We did this lovely Balenciaga thing, another Balenciaga thing, lovely Tim Walker thing. This is getting towards maybe a little bit more of what I do with. I haven't been going on for 24 minutes, have I? No, okay. Sorry. It just says 24 minutes here. Getting towards what Charles Jeffrey's aesthetic is, it's a little bit more rough and ready than I get to do with an awful lot of other people. We get to embrace lots of really tactile and really immediate things that I wouldn't necessarily do with a lot of my bigger clients. So there's Charles. There's my new boss. I'm crushing with a gigantic Mr. Men shoe for Oxfam. This again was shot by Tim Burton. No, Tim Walker. Shit. Oh no, that's embarrassing. Oh, shit. Camper. Some things I did for Dover Street Market. Some cool heads I made. A cardboard, that seemed more relevant earlier. Cardboard stuff. This leads in to Loverboy, because after this, we decided that we were going to stretch that idea into a gigantic catwalk, his first catwalk show. The brief being, I would try and flesh out some of his illustrations, and my ambition, he's a fantastic illustrator, but my ambition was to try and, what would those illustrations look like three-dimensional? So I started fleshing out those shapes and making really textured, interesting cardboard shapes, all in my kitchen at that point. That's Lydia. Lydia's my first assistant, very cool. And she made that single-handedly, very proud of her. See the scale, absolutely dwarfed her, again, in my kitchen. There it is all together with lovely Aiden. One of the things we love to do with these projects is trying to give them a second home. So we build them. They're usually too gorgeous to chuck in the bin, and we try and, what do we do with it now? Sometimes we chuck them into clubs for an evening, for parties. Sometimes they turn into shop windows. This, we just crammed into this shop window near my house and just made a little installation with it. Then the second show I did with him, we went to costumes. Love this weird American thing. Love that one. We installed it at Dover Street. Again, it's second home, so it became an installation there. And there they were on the catwalk, got the wrong order there. And there that is. This is the one I wanted to tell you about, though. This is the one I'm most excited about. So we'd had a great success making cardboard props and things for him before, set to build. But the ambition was to do fantastic. What would it look like if this set moved? What was it like if the whole set moved with a series of dancers? So we started devising different costumes, and we started doing dance workshops where we made this kind of evolving, fluid art piece that danced with the guys as they walked down the catwalk, and this was us prepping and experimenting with it. This insane scribble idea came to us that completely lifted it and transformed it from its original idea. I spent an insane evening by myself, alone in this studio, scribbling in like a madman over everything. But it's probably one of my most favorite projects. I absolutely adore it, and we had a huge amount of fun releasing our little birds on that one. And there's everybody together, fantastic. And then, repurposing, we took it to Copenhagen and made this really cool DJ booth. Love that. That's Charles in the middle. And on to the latest one. Completely different. I wasn't allowed to do cardboard anymore, so we went to bin bags. A lesson in how to do. This is the one thing I love about Charles, of course, is that it's always a lesson in how to do a great deal with very little. So, bin bags. That's me. Bin bags. Bin bags. This was the backdrop. And that's us, and we've just installed it at Dover Street Market. That's all of us there. I wanted to say, that's kind of it for me. I just wanted to say, though, very quickly, that we lost a dear friend of mine today, Judy Blame. And this was his world. How to make something very massive out of absolutely nothing was something that he championed, and I took tremendous inspiration from. And I know Charles and a huge, the kids who are making amazing fashion stuff now are taking massive inspiration from him. We owe him a lot, and I just wanted to say a very garbled tribute to him. So thank you very much.